Hello, friends. In this episode of Dr. J Does Stuff, How to Pass Your DOT Medical Exam, we're going to talk about the hearing test. The hearing test is one of those 4 non-discretionary standards, which means if you can't hear a forced whisper from 5 feet in one ear, you unfortunately can't pass. So here's an example. A guy comes in to get his DOT medical exam, and we're talking, I'm filling out paperwork, and I'm about 5 feet away. But I talk very quietly like this when I'm, hey, what's going on? Hey, this, huh? What? Huh? When that happens, I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. So we get to that part of the exam, and the way you do it is you're gonna sit in a chair, and the examiner is supposed to go to one side or the other. You're gonna test both at 5 feet. And then it's a forced whisper. The driver has to look straight ahead so they can't read your lips. And you can do, letters or numbers is usually what I do. And then you say to the driver, okay, keep looking straight forward and repeat back to me, whatever you hear. 53, 22, 71. All right, forced whisper. And if they can repeat the numbers back, you switch sides and you repeat and do it again. If the driver can't hear properly out of one ear or might be deaf in one ear, you can still pass according to the FMCSA, but one ear must, at a minimum, be able to hear a forced whisper at 5 feet. Now, let's say you can't do that, you fail the exam. Well, you're not gonna pass that day, but there's a solution: hearing aids. I mean, I know that sucks because, they're expensive, but there is a solution for it. And as drivers get older, they're, pass a test, 2 years later, pass a test, because this goes on for 20 years. And they know their hearing is in trouble. Their spouse or friends or whatever are saying, you need to get hearing aids. You need to talk louder. Well, they hope one more time they can just get through it. So it's obviously very frustrating for the driver when they finally run into that situation. You can't pass today, I'm afraid. Well, why? Because you can't hear a forced whisper at 5 feet. It's super important that you be able to hear. You need to be able to hear emergency vehicles. You need to be able to hear vehicles around you. You need to be able to hear your vehicle. If your tire blows or there's any kind of mechanical problem, you have to be able to hear it. So you go get an audiometric test, and that doesn't happen at the exam. And then if it's determined that you can't hear well enough to pass the test, then they'll order you hearing aids, and then you come back. Now, if you wait until your medical card is about to expire, like that day or the day after, or it expired a week ago, kind of thing, then unfortunately, that's going to be between you and your employer, whether or not you're able to drive. But, I can't give you a medical card, and nobody should give you a medical card in those circumstances, if you can't hear a forced whisper at 5 feet, until you get that remedy. Now, I've had drivers say, well, I do have hearing aids, I just forgot them, or I didn't bring them today. Well, that's even easier and cheaper. Go get them and come back. And we'll just pretend you weren't here today. Technically I'm supposed to fail you. That goes on your record. Go home, get your damn hearing aids, and come back. Well, I drove an hour to get here. Well, that's not my problem, unfortunately. They're your hearing aids, and you need them to pass this test and keep your job and feed your family. Go get your damn hearing aids and come back, for the love of God. And if you need hearing aids, bring them to the exam. Do yourself a favor, bring them to the exam, and you'll pass just fine. It's not a problem. Forced whisper at 5 feet shouldn't be a problem with hearing aids. But the difficult circumstance there is if you don't require, or you don't have hearing aids, but you now need them, now you have a delay. And you have to go get that done. You got to get the audiometric test. Then you got to get the hearing aids, and they're about 10 grand. It's crazy expensive. Now, one thing you can't do is run to Walmart and get, a non-hearing aid, amplification device. Those are not allowed. So unfortunately, you you got to go through it, and hopefully you never have to go through it. But a lot of drivers, many years, a lot of noise, and road noise and wind noise, driving with the window down. It just eventually it catches up to you. When you get old enough, it's probably going to be time for hearing aids. But that is the standard. You have to hear a forced whisper at 5 feet out of one ear. So if you can pass in one ear, you can pass. If you can't pass with both ears, unfortunately, you can't. So that's the FMCSA rules, and just be prepared. Again, in this series is to be able to educate you and help you so that when you come in for your exam, you pass one shot, right? And if you're armed with knowledge about how to do that, then it's not going to be an issue for you. Big thing is don't wait until your card expires or is about to expire, because then there's going to be a delay, and in a lot of cases you can't drive if you can't renew your medical card. Companies are getting super strict about it, honestly, as they should. Public safety. So a couple weeks before your exam is about to expire, come in. If there is any issue, that still buys you time. You still have a valid medical card. You can still drive. You can still keep your job. Get it fixed. Come back. Get a new card. Bob's your uncle. No problem. All right. Thanks for tuning in for this one. Hope that was helpful, knowledgeable. Please like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell for future notifications, and we'll see you next time.